My beloved, you are not reading this by chance. Heaven has been holding this message, waiting for the precise moment when your heart would be tender enough, open enough, wounded enough to finally perceive what's been unfolding in silence. Today is that moment. This message is cloaked in love but wrapped in urgency because someone, yes, a woman who has been conversing with you like a friend, smiling at you like a sister, has been secretly orchestrating your downfall. God instructed me to tell you that. If you dismiss this now and walk away thinking it's just another message, then you may never realize how close you came tonight, closer than ever before. My child, do not be afraid, but do not take this lightly. She doesn't don black robes or ride a broomstick. She concocts sweet words. She blends lies with blessings. She plays the victim but drinks the poison she intended for you. And tonight she had decided it was time, but heaven intervened. Why? Because you opened this. Because in this exact second, your soul aligned with the divine shield of heaven, and Archangel Michael stepped in. He stood with his sword ablaze and declared aloud in the courts of heaven, "No, not this one. This soul belongs to God." Listen closely. The next few minutes of your attention can alter the next 4 decades of your life. But if you scroll, if you skip, you will only hear the echo of what could have saved you. God says, "This woman harbors bitterness. She has revealed your secrets to others. She has smiled in rooms where you were being discussed like a commodity. She has visited places just to drop your name in darkness. She doesn't know you're God's beloved. My child, my beauty, you may feel numb right now because part of you already suspected. Your spirit already screamed, but you silenced it out of love. But love without wisdom is a silent killer. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are not imagining this. Your dreams were trying to warn you. That strange heaviness in your chest when you think of her. That cold air when she enters the room. The blessings that suddenly cease flowing every time she embraces you. That was not a coincidence. That was a sign. Heaven gave her time to stop, but she didn't. She told the wrong people about you. She spoke curses into your name. She even sought out someone who opens gates of darkness tonight. She was told, "It's done. It will happen." But heaven laughed because God had other plans. You're still here. You're reading this. You're not skipping this. And that means you've already shifted something massive in the spirit world. Now pause, take a breath, touch your heart, say quietly, "God, I receive this message. I believe you are protecting me." Let this be your subscription not just to words, but to your divine rescue. Because the rest of this message is not just a warning. It's your strategy. It's your escape. It's your power being returned. Keep reading. Because if you stop here, she sensed the spiritual door halfway opened and she'd try again. Not in the same way, but through someone else. Do not let this seed of warning be wasted. Do not let your miracle be delayed again. God told me, "Tell my child this truth is wrapped in fire, but inside the flames is gold." Tell them that I don't just expose danger, I destroy it, and I am about to do both tonight. You must do nothing but listen. Don't confront her. Don't text. Don't warn. Don't cry. Just stay close to this message, because every word you read cuts a string she tried to tie around your life. You were her obsession. Her envy were perfume and her hate were smiles. But she's being unmasked. Not by you, but by heaven. And when it happens, it will be shocking. But you'll be safe because you opened this, because you didn't skip, because you knew deep in your gut. This isn't entertainment. It's a rescue operation. God says they will see you rise from the trap they planned. You are the testimony that even a weapon formed at midnight can break before it reaches morning. And now, my child, stay with me, because what I say next is what she never wanted you to know. She never thought you'd find out. She never imagined that the same God who gives rain and sunrise would bother to speak to you personally like this. She never imagined you'd become so spiritually awake that you'd stop ignoring the signs. But here you are, awake in the middle of the night or distracted in the middle of the day. And suddenly this message reaches you like a thunderbolt whispered by heaven itself. You didn't click by mistake. You didn't pause by accident. The realm of light has been surrounding you, pulling strings in silence just to get you here. And now the truth must unfold. No matter how heavy, no matter how unbelievable, she used to sit beside you. She used to listen to your pain. You opened your soul thinking you were talking to someone safe. But she was collecting your weaknesses like a hunter marks a map. You didn't know it then, but every time you cried, she secretly rejoiced. You were feeding her need to feel stronger. She didn't want to be you. She wanted to destroy you so that she could wear your life like a stolen crown. God saw all of it, from the first fake compliment to the last whispered plan. And God's Spirit grieved because you loved her, because you trusted her, because even now there's a part of your heart that still wants to protect her. But my beloved, you cannot protect what is planning to bury you. You cannot cover what is cursing your name while bowing their head in fake prayer. God is not angry with you for loving her. He is just asking you to finally let Him take it from here. No more reasoning with demons. No more excusing evil in the name of loyalty. No more denying the storm that's already knocking on your door, because tonight she thought she would win. She thought your silence was weakness. She thought your kindness was blindness. But heaven has made a decision. Her time of hiding is over. Michael has drawn the sword. The angels have surrounded your house. The traps set in the spirit have been reversed. And now everything she has said, whispered, planned, and sent is coming back to her doorstep. This isn't revenge. This is justice. Divine, holy, uncontestable justice. You, child of heaven, are not allowed to go down in silence. You are not permitted to be swallowed by betrayal. You were born with too much light, too much purpose, too much of God's fingerprint to be destroyed by someone fueled by bitterness. Let this sentence echo in your spirit. You will live, and she will watch it. Yes, she will witness your rise, not just a financial rise, not just love or favor. She will watch your spirit rise into full clarity. You will laugh again, but this time with full awareness. You will love again, but this time with holy wisdom. You will walk again, but this time with your feet protected by angels every step of the way. This message isn't here to scare you. It's here to wake up the lion sleeping inside your soul. It's here to remind you God isn't just watching. He's moving right now. And you're not alone, because I, Archangel Michael, have been standing behind you, even when you felt like giving up, even when you cried yourself to sleep, wondering why people keep turning on you, even when you questioned, God, Why do I feel so attacked and I haven't hurt anyone? Because your light is loud. Because your presence shakes hidden evil. Because your calling is dangerous to the darkness. That's why. That's why she couldn't stop talking about you. That's why she couldn't celebrate your wins. That's why she wanted to erase you before the world saw what heaven always saw. But the tables have turned. Heaven is not asking you to fight. Heaven is asking you to trust. And now in this sacred moment, before this message goes cold, before your phone rings, before distractions pull you away, God is asking you one thing. Stay, listen, and surrender. Surrender the pain. Surrender the confusion. Surrender the revenge and instead let God finish what He just started. Subscribe now to Heaven's plan. Not just with a click, but with your spirit. Say quietly under your breath, God, I believe this is for me. I choose light. I choose protection. I choose to believe that I am being rescued even now. Now you are sealed in light. The next part of this message is the part that returns your power and reveals what's coming next. You've seen the darkness. Now it's time to see the miracle. Let me tell you now what she never wanted you to remember. Your life was never ordinary. Your birth was not a mistake. Even when you were born, the spiritual realm shifted. Even when you were a child, angels stood around you in silent admiration. You were always marked. You were always protected. And because of that, you have always been misunderstood by people who couldn't carry the weight of your purpose. She knew it. She felt it before you even did. That's why she kept her smile close and her jealousy closer. She saw how heaven responded to you. She heard your words and knew they carried weight in the spiritual realm. And she couldn't handle the fact that no matter how much she tried to dim your light, you still glowed. Now you understand why you lost so many people without explanation. Now you see why your name was dragged into rooms you've never entered. Now you realize the pain wasn't punishment. It was preparation. God had to make sure that when the mask falls off this woman, you wouldn't break again. He had to strengthen your spine so that when the truth screams out of silence, you wouldn't collapse in grief. You'd rise in glory. There were nights she mentioned your name in dark company. There were moments she mocked your softness. She called your trust weakness. She called your peace naive. But she didn't know. She couldn't see the angels that surrounded you, even in your darkest moments. She couldn't hear the prayers of heaven that were spoken over your life, even when you felt most alone. Because you didn't let her betrayal turn you cold. Because you still chose love when you had every reason to choose revenge. And heaven took no dot every time you cried alone but refused to curse her. Every time you wanted to retaliate but chose prayer instead. Every time your name was dragged and you still offered help. Every time your spirit bent but didn't break. Heaven wrote it down line by line. And God said, I will repay this soul for every silent war they walked through with grace. So now the reward is coming, but not just in money, not just in peace. It's coming in the form of revelation. God is giving you eyes to see the truth in people. He's removing the fog from your discernment. He's blessing you with clarity so sharp, so undeniable that no one will ever be able to deceive you again. You're stepping into a season where your spirit will speak louder than their words, where your intuition will rise like thunder before the storm, where no matter how well she dresses her betrayal, your soul will smell it from miles away, And this gift is sacred. It's divine compensation for all the years you wandered in love, not knowing some of that love was being weaponized against you. But listen, don't let bitterness take root now. Don't become what she was. That's how darkness spreads through pain that turns innocent people bitter. But God didn't preserve you for that. He preserved you for greatness. He kept you alive because there are nations in your voice, healing in your touch, and future miracles written with your name as the sender. And no enemy, not even one pretending to be a friend, will cancel what God has already placed inside you. No betrayal, no slander, no fake hug, no spiritual weapon will prosper because she tried and it failed. She whispered and you still rose. She gathered and you outlived her curses. She watched and you bloomed anyway. So let her talk now. Let her stare now. Let her wonder how you're still shining. You don't owe her silence. You don't owe her softness. You owe her nothing. Only God gets the credit now. Only heaven deserves your loyalty. And Michael is not leaving your side. Even now as you sit here listening to this, his sword remains drawn. No weapon will form. No curse will stick. No evil plan will hatch because Archangel Michael has sealed your path, and your name has been placed on heaven's wall of divine protection. You've cried enough. Now you receive. You've fought long enough. Now you rest. You've been silent too long. Now you speak not in anger but in power. You were never ordinary. That's why ordinary people couldn't handle you. That's why she couldn't support you. You carried too much light. You reminded her of everything she never dealt with in herself. And instead of healing, she attacked. Instead of growing, she envied. Instead of learning from you, she tried to erase you. But it didn't work, because what God built in you, no human can tear down. Not even one who was once close enough to kiss your cheek. And now, my beloved, heaven wants you to breathe. Let this message wrap around your chest like an embrace. Let your heart beat slow. Let your soul unclench its fists. Let your spirit know that you're safe now, safe from her, safe from betrayal, safe from false love, safe from what was planned for tonight, but has already been stopped by the fire of the fire of the tear. Angels, she doesn't know that the plans she whispered in secret rooms have already been overturned. She doesn't know that the curses she sent are now circling back to their sender. She doesn't know that God has drawn a line in the sand and said, "Not this child, not this soul, not anymore." But you know now, you can feel it. The very atmosphere around you is shifting because you are no longer standing alone. You are standing under divine orders, protected by forces that never sleep. Do you realize how much power is behind you? The same God who parts oceans is the one who shields you tonight. The same God who sends fire from heaven is the one who silences every mouth speaking against you. When he says, "Touch not my anointed," every plot collapses. Every hidden dagger turns to dust, and every scheme dissolves before it can reach you. This is what is happening right now in the unseen realm. Angels are scattering the plans that were designed to corner you. They are cutting the ropes that were meant to trap your future. They are opening doors so wide that even the memory of these battles will fade. My beloved, this is not just a warning. This is a transfer of strength. God is pouring His courage into your veins. He is restoring what was taken, your confidence, your joy, your peace. The nights you lay awake replaying conversations in your mind, trying to figure out who to trust, who to forgive, who to let go of. Those nights are over, because heaven has already made the decision. The masks will fall and you won't have to do a single thing. You won't have to fight. You won't have to defend your name. You won't have to prove your worth. God Himself will be your evidence. Your life will speak louder than her lies. Do you know why this hurts so much? Because you gave your heart to the wrong hands. You loved with purity, but she handled your soul with carelessness. It's not your fault. It was never your fault. Kindness is not weakness. Love is not stupidity. Your heart is not a mistake. It's a treasure. And those who try to crush it will face consequences they cannot escape. The time for silence is over. Not silence in your words, but silence in your spirit. You have been silent too long about your pain. You have swallowed too many tears. You have let too many people take advantage of your forgiveness. But now God is lifting your chin. He is saying, no more. My child, you will no longer bow to false love. You will no longer shrink for the sake of those who secretly hate your light. You will rise, and the same mouths that cursed you will watch and be silent. Let this moment sink in. You are not here by accident. There is no coincidence that these words are reaching you. Something deep in your spirit has been crying for confirmation. You have been asking, God, is this person really against me? Am I just imagining this? Am I wrong to feel this? And here is your answer. No, you are not imagining it. The woman who has been plotting against you, the one who smiled to your face but schemed behind your back, her plans have been exposed. God sees the late-night phone calls, the whispered conversations, the false prayers that were really curses in disguise. He sees how she's been trying to turn others against you, how she's been planting seeds of doubt in the minds of those who love you. But here's what you need to know. Her time is up. The very weapons she forged against you are now turning back on her. The lies she spread are being revealed as truth comes to light. The people she manipulated are beginning to see through her facade. And you, my dear, are being vindicated in ways you couldn't have imagined. Remember those times when you felt alone, when it seemed like no one believed you? God was there. He was collecting every tear, recording every silent prayer. And now, He's moving on your behalf. He's exposing what was hidden in darkness and bringing it into the light. This woman thought she could play God in your life, deciding who should love you, who should trust you, who should stand by you. But she forgot one crucial thing. You belong to the Most High. And when God decides to defend His own, no human scheme can stand. So here's what's going to happen. In the coming days, you'll see a shift. People who were once distant will suddenly reach out. Truths you've been trying to prove will suddenly become evident to everyone. The very situation she tried to use to harm you will become the platforms God uses to elevate you. But listen closely, because this part is crucial. As all this unfolds, guard your heart. Don't let the vindication turn to vengeance. Don't let the relief turn to retaliation. Remember, you're not just winning a battle. You're inheriting a kingdom. And in this kingdom, love still reigns supreme. Yes, set boundaries. Yes, speak your truth. Yes, stand firm in your God-given authority. but do it all with the grace and dignity of a child of God, because that's who you are. You're not a victim seeking revenge. You're a victor extending mercy. And to this woman, the one who thought she could play with fire without getting burned, here's a message. It's not too late to repent. It's not too late to turn from this path of destruction. The same God who is defending his child is also extending grace to you. But choose quickly, because the window of mercy won't stay open forever. As for you, my beloved, step into this new season with confidence. Walk with your head held high, knowing that the God of the universe has your back. Let your light shine brighter than ever before, because the darkness that tried to dim it has only made it more radiant. You are entering a time of double restoration. Where you lost one friend, God is bringing you 10. Where one door closed, He's opening 1,000. Where your name was slandered in one place, it will be honored in nations. So breathe easy, sleep in peace, wake up with joy. Because the battle you thought you had to fight has already been won. The victory you've been praying for has already been secured. All you need to do now is walk in it. Remember, you are loved beyond measure, protected beyond comprehension, and destined for greatness beyond imagination. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No tongue that rises against you in judgment shall stand. This is your heritage as a servant of the Lord, and your vindication comes from Him. Now go forth, shining one. Your time has come before they touch earth. The part of the message that not everyone stays to hear, but you are still here. And because of that, I can give you what most never receive. The final whisper, the sacred seal, the divine truth that is written only for those who refuse to let go before the blessing is complete. Now listen closely. There is a shift happening in your spiritual records. A page has just turned. You didn't feel it with your body, but your soul noticed it. That subtle sigh, that flicker of energy behind your ribs, that quiet moment where your mind stopped racing, that was heaven pressing the stamp of approval on this next chapter of your life. The chapter where you finally see what God was writing in the dark, because for so long you felt left out. You looked around and saw others getting answered, others receiving, others being celebrated. And you asked quietly, almost ashamed to even pray it, God, did you forget me? But now you know He didn't. He was building something custom. He was stretching your capacity. He wasn't ignoring you. He was preparing you so that when the blessing came, you wouldn't reject it. You see, some people get their blessings too early. They fumble them. They panic. They sabotage the very thing they cried for. But you waited. And because of that, what's coming to you will stay. It will grow. It will multiply. Because it's coming on schedule, not rushed, not forced, but divine. And don't worry about those who didn't support you. Don't try to explain your glow. Don't waste your breath trying to defend your journey. The people who couldn't love you at your lowest do not get access to your highest. Let that truth rest in your spirit. This next version of you will not chase, will not beg, will not shrink. You will rise, not arrogantly, but in reverent strength, because now you know what it costs to be here. You've paid in tears. You've paid in silent prayers. You've paid in long nights and lonely mornings. And heaven, oh beloved, heaven always repays in double. So prepare, not just emotionally, but practically. Clear your space. Clear your schedule. Clear your heart. Make room for what's about to come. Because your life is not just changing, it's being upgraded. And let me tell you something that will sound unbelievable. But I must say it because it's true. There is a letter being written about you right now. Yes, a physical letter. Or maybe a digital one, but it carries your name. And in the heart of the one writing, it is an instruction from God. Honor this person. Give them what they deserve. Bless them without delay. This is not just spiritual. This is material. The kind of news that makes you weep in private because you never expected God to be this generous, but He is. He always was. You just hadn't seen this side of Him yet. And what about your family? Yes, even the restoration. There will be healing in the bloodline. Conversations that once felt impossible will be spoken, not perfectly but peacefully. Some hearts are softening behind closed doors. They may not say it out loud, but they're realizing they were wrong. And soon the apology you thought would never come, it will arrive. Not because you chased it, but because heaven arranged it. And finally, one last instruction for your spirit tonight. As you lay your head down, let go. Let go of the version of you that had to pretend to be okay. Let go of the fear that it's too late. Let go of the belief that miracles are for other people. Because right now, as you read this final breath of the message, God is moving. He's shifting things in rooms you haven't entered yet. He's rewriting timelines. He's bending rules. He's turning no into watching what I'm about to do. And all because you stayed. You didn't rush. You didn't click away. You didn't skip to the end. You believed. And now, beloved, heaven responds. Get ready, because what you're about to walk into, you won't have words for it. Only tears, but they'll be the kind of tears that say, God, you really hurt me. God didn't bring you this far to let their curses be the final word. No, beloved, if their curses had power, you wouldn't be standing here today. You wouldn't have survived what they said behind closed doors. You wouldn't have made it through the nights when the air felt heavy, your body felt tired, and your spirit couldn't even pray. But you're still here. You're reading this message not by coincidence, but because heaven has drawn you into this moment for divine alignment. God is reclaiming the parts of you that were stolen in silence. Your trust, your boldness, your voice. You kept shrinking so they could feel tall. You kept quiet so they wouldn't feel exposed. But what about you? Who protected your heart while you were busy defending theirs? God did, and He's still doing it now. Even while you doubted your own intuition, heaven kept a record. Even while you felt guilt for suspecting someone who once prayed with you, heaven was preparing to reveal everything. Because love should never require blindness. Because real connection doesn't manipulate your discernment. Because spiritual loyalty never asks you to silence your soul just to keep the peace. And now God is pouring restoration into places of you that you didn't even realize had been bleeding. He is healing not just the wound, but the root. Because this wasn't the first person to do this to you. It was just the final one that heaven allowed to go that far. You've had others, family, friends, people who said your name in rooms that were never meant to speak of you. People who took your presence for granted, used your light to feel warm, and blamed you when their shadows showed up. But no more. You are in the season of divine reversal where the last will become first, where the ignored will be honored, where the humble will be raised up, and where the betrayed will receive beauty for ashes. So don't look back. Don't go back and pick up what God told you to release. Don't try to apologize for seeing clearly. You're not being harsh. You're being obedient. Because discernment is not judgment. It is love protected by truth. And your future is too important to be clouded by manipulative energy. She had her chance. God gave her time. He sent convicted. He sent dreams. He gave her warnings. And she ignored every single one. She continued talking about you. She continued planting seeds of doubt about you in the minds of others. She continued sending messages, making calls, all while keeping a fake smile in your presence. But God watches the heart. And now He's showing you what He saw all along. This isn't just protection. This is a prophecy unfolding. Because the moment your spirit started waking up, the divine scroll of your life started opening again. That's why warfare increased. That's why she became more desperate. Because your awareness was threatening the control she no longer has. And that's why God had to interrupt your timeline with this message. Not just to warn you, not just to comfort you, but to release you. To give you permission to let go without guilt. To allow you to feel every ounce of peace without apologizing. To remind you that you are allowed to choose you. To choose healing, to choose peace, to choose elevation, to choose what aligns with your anointing instead of what simply fits your past. You're not being selfish. You're being wise. You're not cutting people off. You're obeying divine instruction. You're not being dramatic. You're stepping into discernment that heaven sharpened just for this moment. This is holy. This is sacred. This is rescue. And you, beloved, you are the one God has chosen to walk out of this fire without smelling like smoke. You are the one who will testify that no betrayal, no secret conversation, no shadow, no curse, and no fake friend could stop the favor of God from flooding your life. Because when God says it's your time, it's your time. Not even their hate can delay what's been divinely stamped with your name. You don't have to look over your shoulder anymore. You don't have to keep scanning every word and smile for hidden motives. You don't have to keep pretending you're okay with people who celebrate you in private and crucify you in secret. That season has passed. The veil has been torn. Heaven has stepped in, and what was hidden is being dragged into the light. Not by your hand, by God's. Not through confrontation, but revelation. Not with rage, with righteous exposure. Because God doesn't just uncover to humiliate, He uncovers to heal. And in this uncovering, He's healing the wounded parts of you that always sensed something was wrong, but never had proof. The parts of you that smiled when your spirit screamed. The parts of you that kept giving even as your soul was starving. He's healing that right now. Even as you read this, this is your spiritual CPR. This message was heaven's way of reaching into your chest and restarting what betrayal tried to silence. Your trust, your hope, your power. You were never weak. You were just exhausted. You were never blind. You just didn't want to believe someone could fake love so well. You weren't wrong to care. But you would be wrong to keep allowing someone to stay who was secretly sent to sabotage your spirit. She didn't just dislike you. She was threatened by your light. You didn't even have to do much. Your presence alone was proof that favor rests on you. She tried to copy your words, your style, your glow. But imitation without anointing is empty. She could never carry what you carry because she wasn't forged in the fire like you were. She didn't cry the prayers you cried. She didn't walk through your private storms. She didn't wrestle with God on nights when no one was watching. You did. And that's why God chose you. That's why this message didn't find her. That's why this divine alert didn't land in her feed. Because this isn't for her. It's for you. It's always been for you. Because God is jealous over you. Because Michael has been assigned to you. Because the time for warning has ended and the time for breakthrough has begun. Let this hit deep. No one will get the credit for your survival but God. Not a friend, not a family member, not even you. Because what was launched against you this time, it wasn't just betrayal. It was a spiritual assassination. And you would not have survived. It had heaven not intervened. But now the weapon has been broken. The conversation that was meant to curse you has collapsed. The decision that was meant to harm you has been reversed. And the place where they thought they would bury you will become the stage of your elevation. She will watch. They will all watch, not because God is petty, but because God is just. He will set a table before you, and not behind closed doors, not in the shadows. He will do it where those who mocked you have to see it. Where those who doubted you have to swallow their words, where those who lied on your name have to hear that name praised by angels. So rest. Rest in the fire if you must. It can't burn you. Rest in the storm if you must. It can't drown you. Rest in the process if you must. It can't stop you. Because God is not through. He's just beginning. This is your beginning. This is your chapter. This is your becoming.